grab your big book, your pen, your highlighter, and notepad and get ready to hear and apply some of the solution from the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous through the experience, strength, and hope of Nikki M. To have a question addressed in a future episode of Noodle It Out with Nikki, please send an email to noodlewithnikki@gmail.com, and Nikki is spelled with 2 Ks. To get a more interactive experience with Nikki as she noodles out life and recovery questions using the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you can get a link to her weekly Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting held live on Zoom every Monday morning at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The information to that meeting is in the show notes of this podcast. God morning, God afternoon, and God evening to all. My name is Justin B. I am a son of an all-powerful and perfectly loving God and a qualifying addict of multiple fellowships living in the miracle of recovery. And I'm here with the intelligent agent, spearhead of God's ever-advancing creation, and my co-host, Nikki M. Nikki, we're on fire this morning, but take a minute and share a little bit of that fire.
Well, good morning, everybody. Actually, buenos dias. It's Cinco de Mayo around the world. And if you're in Mexico, we're just wishing you the greatest day of your life. I'm Nikki M, and I'm a grateful member of this fellowship today, specifically Rico 12. I just came off the Monday morning Noodle It Out with Nikki meeting that we do every Monday live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I know Justin got on there, even though he's 3 hours behind me, he somehow makes it in. And I think we're just here to celebrate this life because as Justin and I got together this morning, I was off for a week and we didn't record. Lots of things are happening in our lives. And I reminded Justin in reminding myself that every week, Justin and I start off and usually say, thank you, God, use us, God. And those requests are coming true. God is really using us both. And we're going to get to some answers and questions today. I'm just excited. I tapped power, Justin, and I really feel it.
Thank you, Nikki. And I'm grateful to be able to sit down with you each week doing this because as you mentioned, a lot of these questions that come to us from our lives are coming to us for us. It's something that applies in our lives today. And that's no different with our question that we'll be hitting on today. But before I get to that, I just want to do a quick announcement to all of you out there who may not be aware. And I'm so grateful. We are so grateful for all the donations that are coming in. And if you feel prompted, nudged, guilt-tripped, whatever it may be, into donating to Rico 12, please consider doing so. It is a big help. It helps us keep the lights on. It helps us keep doing the things that we're doing here and continuing to grow. So you can find ways to donate in the show notes of the podcast. You can go to rico12.com/support and check out all those different ways. All right, let's get into this question today. We're going to be noodling out survival mode today, Nikki. Here's the question that came in. How does the Big Book help with survival mode? I found the courage to leave an abusive relationship with my children thanks to this program, but I find myself in survival mode. I also find myself forgetting major things as if I was in a blackout. So, Nikki, what does the book say, and how can we walk through this process that so many of us find ourselves in on a fairly regular basis?
Wow. I entered the rooms, a friend who wrote in with this question, I entered the rooms through Al-Anon 13 years ago. So my heart just breaks open for you because let's just jump right into the book. Page 118, page 118. See, there's a whole chapter written for you, my friend, who's in blackout, probably blackout alcoholism. Nikki, I don't drink. But it says here that at such moments, we forget that alcoholism, addiction, is an illness over which we could not possibly have had any power. See, this is a family disease. I love my friend Justin B at the table. He's never had a drink. I'm assuming most of his family hasn't. And they suffer the disease of alcoholism, the family disease, because on page 22, it says our behavior patterns vary. So this includes everything. So I feel for you and I'm giving you a giant hug, but there's a whole chapter written to you, Miss Survival Mode. It's called Two Wives. It's chapter 8 of our big book, and it starts on page 104. So let's turn to page 104 because it's really, this is what it says here. It says, among us are wives, and I put codependents, relatives, friends, whose problems have been solved. See, my problem has been solved, the family disease of alcoholism, as well as some of us who have not yet found a happy solution. We want the wives, we want the families, we want the sons and daughters of recovered people in Alcoholics Anonymous to address. So we're recovered. Justin and I have recovered from a seemingly hopeless state of mind. And we want to address those people, the wives, the husbands, the dads of people who drink too much, of people who think too much, who sex too much, who eat too much. No solution. What they will say will apply to everyone bound by ties of blood or affection to an alcoholic, to an addict in the grip of a progressive illness called the disease of alcoholism. I'm paraphrasing on some, or I'm adding things in too as I'm reading, my friends. So here it is. Let's go to the next paragraph where I want to tell this person, we would like you to feel that we understand as perhaps few can. See, you're in the right place. You wrote into the right family, the Rico 12 family, the Noodle It Out with Nikki, because we have walked a mile in your moccasins. We want to analyze mistakes we have made. My line out says to analyze is to paralyze. Don't get stuck there. We want to leave you with a feeling that no situation, people in the back, no situation. But Nikki, my son is addicted to fentanyl. My husband beats me and stole all my money. I don't care what the scenario is. My daughter's in the alley with a needle in her arm. My daughter's just overeating and weighs 500 pounds, and I'm scared to death, Nikki. Here it is. No unhappiness or no difficulty is too great to overcome. So we need you to believe your book, number one, or go back to therapy, go back to those rehabs, move, do all these other human aid things that just don't work for even us in Al-Anon or in codependency. See, we have traveled the rocky road. We've had rendezvous with hurt, pride, frustration, self-pity, and they're not pleasant companions, says page 104. So what do? Okay, that's what you said. Well, here it is. Number one, you enter this program. I don't care how, get a big book sponsor. That's number one, get a big book, because page 114 says the power of God goes deep. The power of God goes deep. Turn to page 114. Moms, dads, husbands, wives, the human race who is affected by this disease of alcoholism. The power of God goes deep. Go down a couple more sentences. Some men, some women, some people cannot or will not get over alcoholism. They will change a little, but they won't get over it. My mom, Justin, lives in my house forever, and she's changed a little. Why? Because I've changed a lot, but she's never going to get over the disease of alcoholism. She doesn't work a 12-step program. This is radical because she is beyond human aid. And so this is what our person who wrote in, Justin, said on page 114. Sometimes you must start life anew. That's what this person said. I had to leave with my children. It became too dangerous or too horrifying, whatever it is. And I needed to start life anew. So what does it say here? We know women and men and families who have done it. Justin, my son is not well right now. I mean, he's 20. He's probably a normal teenager. I don't want to say addiction or affliction because I really don't know what's going on with him. But guess what? If Nikki adopts a spiritual way of life, my road will be smoother. See, I had to adopt a spiritual way of life. So my road is smoother. Because remember on page 58 and 59, it says, we deal with alcoholism. It says alcohol. We deal with sex. We deal with food. We deal with obsessive compulsive thinking. It's cunning. It's baffling. It's all powerful. And without help, it's too much. So we have to stay here, friend who wrote in survival mode, because we're not going to be in survival mode or we won't make it. It says we need a spiritual way of life so the road will be smoother. Justin, come in and then we'll get to some more stuff.
You know, Nikki, I've read this chapter to wives several times, but as you read those first couple of paragraphs and then just jumped into this one here that you closed out with, it was like I was hearing it for the first time, and I really appreciate it. I love, when we do the Big Book Roundtable, sometimes you'll say, "I just love hearing the Big Book read out loud to me because I hear it differently," and that's what I did this time. But this phrase right here, if I adopt a spiritual way of life, my road will be smoother. That just is, it doesn't say smooth, it says smoother. Because whatever that road looks like, I mean, if I'm doing it on my own power, it's going to be like off roading at 50 miles an hour with boulders on the road and just throwing me everywhere. I think the boulders will still be on the road, but it will be a more controlled with a professional driver going over it at the speed that it is wise to go over. And the road will be smoother. It's not going to kill me. It will just, I'll go through it kind of jostled, but in good shape. And I think that's something that really opens my eyes today. What are your thoughts on that, Nikki?
Well, the Big Book says this is a design for living that works in rough going. Now, let me see if I can find the page. As you hear, I'm just like, my voice may even sound a little deep or weird today because I have just not stopped talking, Justin. People are not well. You and I had a little conversation before. We always do a little check-in, and the world is not well. It's 2025. I'm afraid. I'm speaking this afternoon. I'm not afraid. I'm just saying I'm speaking this afternoon in a women's meeting, and I want to wake up the women even more because I'm afraid our men aren't doing well. We lost a young man this week in program. Justin, he was sober, but I saw the 100 pounds on him. I knew that he was going to Cuba to sleep with women that aren't his, you understand. And so it says here on page 15 that it does say that it is a design for living. See, this is a design for living. Madam, mom, in survival mode, you tried to find a way of living and it hasn't worked for you or your children. This book gives us a design for living that works in rough going, AKA while you're dying in survival mode. Okay. I want to take us over to, it says here on page 115, because Justin, she mentioned children. She did mention babies. And I mean, you and I naturally have a soft spot for babies, but you have your grandson and I've secretly adopted him in my mind. And so I worry about the babies of the future. I'm not so selfish anymore. I'm really thinking about others. And it says on page 115, the same principle. Remember, we are in a spiritual principled program. Page 115, the same principle applies in dealing with children, right? It says, unless they need protection from their father, it's not best to take sides in anything. Remain in a position of neutrality. How do I do that, Nikki? You do all 12 steps all day. This is radical. You smash the idea, page 30, that you're like anybody on the planet. You take a sincere position, page 63, every day to become a member of a 12-step program, to abandon your thinking and your actions to God, says page 62 or 63. See, here it is. I love this line. Oh, God is working for us today, Justin, because I'm in the spirit world. So I've been talking a lot about energies, frequencies, vibrations. And here's the word energy. My God, I love this program. Use your energies to promote a better understanding all around. Justin, you are right now, we were just talking about something you have to do this afternoon. So here's the direction for you. Use your energies to promote a better understanding all around. And you told me you were standing tall as God's people. that you weren't going to shrink around anyone in your family, and you were going to arm your family with, facts about your life. That's what this book is saying too. It's saying, while we up a little further, it says, while we need not discuss your problems at length, you can quietly let your family and friends know the nature of what's happening in your life. Doesn't necessarily mean your illness, because it says right here, the nature of your husband's illness. Well, that's not your situation. Maybe that's this woman's survival situation. So you can quietly let your family and friends quietly. I highlighted it because Nikki's got a big old mouth and I like to overshare. So I can quietly, and then it says, carefully explain to such people that you have created a new atmosphere. Whoa, mind blowing. Quietly explain, carefully, says that third paragraph. Not that he's a sick person, but that you, madam, have created a new atmosphere. Like me, everyone's like, Nikki, do this, do that. I said to a lot of people, for the summer of 2025, Nikki M has created a new atmosphere, because normally I'm in Luxembourg, and this summer I have a lot to do with my home, my mom. I haven't been home for Mother's Day in a few years because I'm always in Luxembourg. Here it is. I am creating a new atmosphere. You will find Nikki M on her bike riding. It's a bicycle. I'll be in the summer in Toronto. I'm going to be riding in white linen. I'm trying to buy a lot of white linen clothes. It helps me breathe, and I don't want to wear dark colors anymore. And I have a lyre, which is not the lyre inside of me. It's a small harp. I like to call it a lyre. It's Lyre, but I'm taking harp lessons, and I want to play Claire de Lune for my friends. This is my new image. This is my arming my friends and family, that I am creating a new atmosphere. I live in a spirit world. Don't come at me with your human bullshit. Are you awake? Like, you will have to do this maybe today too, Justin. Let them know you're creating a new atmosphere for your life. Let your friends know, Miss Al-Anon, that you are creating a new atmosphere. This is radical stuff. Go down a little further. It says, and I put my name there, Nikki. Well, I put NM, my initials. Nikki, your new courage. I have new courage. Why? Because I did those things that we just spoke about, Justin. I smashed the idea that I'm like other people. I stand tall. Oh, page 49, I'm an intelligent agent spearhead. God gave me brains, says page 83. Use them. And good nature. I have a good nature now. My lack of self-confidence. No, sorry, it doesn't say confidence. My lack of self-consciousness. I'm in God consciousness. Nikki, get more coffee. No, don't. It makes you weird. So I have a new courage. That's what this woman is doing. She's starting life anew. She's going to live a spiritual way, and it will be smoother. Not smooth all the time, smoother. She has new courage. She has a good nature. We all are born with a good nature, and we are here to discover the obstacles in our path and let God remove them. This will do wonders for you, not just socially, mentally, physically, spiritually, for your family. And then go down further, back to using your energies to promote a better understanding of yourself, your new, what did it say? It said a new, where am I? I've got my eyes here. A new life, a new atmosphere. We're in the spirit world. It's so radical. And the reality of it is most won't get it, Justin, because many are dead asleep in the world. Even, I mean, you go to your church or your people out there, your synagogue, your mosque, your yoga mats, your thing, and you're just like, wait, are we all on the same planet? Or are we just going through the motions? Because go deeper and I'll let you in here. Faith without works is dead, Justin. And you and I see a lot of this in the rooms, inside and out. So if you want to live in survival mode, just have faith. But if you want to be free, have faith and do the work. Justin?
Yeah, that faith without works is dead is something that I know, absolutely I know to be a true principle. But I just had it opened up in a new light that I'm going to be diving into here in a little bit, but I'm not going to take that right now. Where I want to go with this right now is When I'm in survival mode, I'm numb. I'm agitated. I'm doubtful. And in those times, I need to pause and ask God for the right thought or action. And then I also need to practice acceptance because I'm disturbed. When I'm in survival mode, there is something not right. Something not right in the world around me. I am not willing to accept it. I need to practice acceptance. And I love what you say, Nikki. Ask, what is missing right now? And nothing. When I get down to brass tacks, when I get down to the core of it, I'm still breathing. I'm still able to, well, do whatever God needs me to do at this very moment. And at this very moment, that might be to sit back and breathe and pause and then get into action. Faith without works is dead. Once I practice acceptance and I ask God for the right thought or action, take it. And that's kind of my thought on that. Any closing thoughts before we close out of this one, Nikki?
Yeah, I mean, we've spent the whole time pretty much to the wives, to the codependent, to the people and the humans suffering from the family disease of alcoholism. You will not escape it. This person, when I asked her about it, they said they were adopted, so they don't know their family history. And I said, well, I've never met anyone who escapes the family disease of alcoholism. Okay. So, whatever. But here we are, page 116. And I think we could close out here. And Justin, maybe you can cue up page 417, the acceptance prayer. And you can read that over me on the way out. But here it is, page 116. And I cry because it says, it was a silly idea to think that I was too good to need God, Justin. It's a really silly idea to think that I am too good to need God, to need these spiritual principles, to need power. I can't do this life without you. So I'm silly. I like that word because I use much harder language, my friend, that probably would get us banned on our podcast, okay? I do offend. But here it is. Now, Justin, fast, today. Justin and I, we don't try, we do. We are students of Yoda. We do or do not. There is no try. May the fourth, I got a lot of those memes yesterday about the 4th. May 4th be with you. And so may the force be with us. May the energies and the frequencies and the high vibrations of the world be with us when we put spiritual principles to work in every department of our lives. In every department of our lives. I hope to God the internet was working. Sometimes I listen back to our podcast. I'm like, man, it's 2025 and I can't get a clear reception, but they're sending people to the moon. Justin, take me out for acceptance on these things that I just don't understand.
You got it, Nikki. And as far from what I heard, everything sounded good. So let's get out here with acceptance. This is page 417. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. When I am disturbed, all my problems, when I'm in survival mode, when I'm disturbed, whatever it may be, when I am disturbed, it is because I find some person, place, thing, or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me, and I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. And until I could accept my alcoholism, I could not stay sober. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes. That paragraph right there is just so all-encompassing. Everybody, let's practice acceptance. Let's recognize that I think all of us are in survival mode in one way or another, just trying to get through life here. Let's stop trying and just give it to God. Practice acceptance. Walk with God. Keep coming back. Work it. You are worth it.